What's up, everybody, and welcome to What's Up, Bree. So, before we get this episode started off, first and foremost, I am welcoming myself back. I have not done a podcast in about 2.5, 3 weeks. I have been thrown off my game a little bit. My friend recently got married. That's where my main focus was. My birthday had just passed, so my priorities weren't all the way in order. I was kind of focused everywhere, but I have missed doing my podcast, and I did promise you guys another episode. So that is why I am currently getting my SHIT together and doing this episode. So the last episode that I did, I said it was episode number 9, which was also a mistake. Clearly, I cannot count. It was supposed to be episode 8. So technically, we're going backwards to go forward, which sometimes you have to revisit the past in order to get to the future. So it works. So this is episode 8 of What's Up, Bree, and it is titled Love. Something that I love to talk about, something that I love to experience. So yeah. The reason why I wanted to do an episode about love is because I feel as if love is important, whether it's in friendship, significant others, family. It's something that everybody needs. A lot of people try to act as if they don't need love and you don't need anybody and I can do everything by myself. Everybody needs somebody, regardless if it's a friend, family member, significant other, whatever. It is best to always have somebody on your side, in your corner, because you can't do everything by yourself realistically. So I want to start this episode off with definitions. Everybody thinks love means something different to them. If you look on Google, for one, love can either be a noun or a verb. So the noun definition is an intense feeling or deep affection. The verb is feel deep affection for somebody. I personally always feel as if love is definitely a verb. I feel like it's an action word. I'm not one of those type of people to where I will be just 100% satisfied with hearing that you love me. I need to feel it. I'm very touchy-feely. I like to cuddle. I like to hold hands. I like to be all in my partner's face, get on the nerves, being annoying. That's the type of love that I like to receive. Some people are different. Other people are okay. Hey, I don't need you to be all in my inner space or all on my back. As long as you tell me you love me, we're okay. I'm a little bit different. So when I did my poll on Instagram, because you guys know I love polls, I wanted to ask people, what's your definition of love? So some of the answers that I got, somebody said me and you. That's a no. My sister, I told her when I recorded this episode that I was definitely going to make sure I named her comment because she tried to be funny. She put beating they ass every day to show them you care. When I say love is an action word, that does not mean put your hands on your partner. Caitlin, stay out of my comments, okay? Somebody said willing to do whatever for you, for an individual that you would do for yourself. Action. I feel like that is very important. I feel like you love yourself. Everybody should love themselves. So if you love somebody else, the same things that you would do for yourself should be the same things that you would be willing to do for them. Somebody said deeper than a physical attraction. I do strongly believe that too. Love does not always mean sex. A lot of people get that confused. You can be sexually attracted to somebody and that can be considered lust. That does not mean love. And you don't have to always date the prettiest guy or prettiest girl or the person with the best body. As long as that works for you, you're good. Somebody said a strong connection of feelings, admiring the person, their flaws and all. It's way deeper. I feel like that's very big too, because you're not going to always find the perfect somebody. Me and my mom have had this conversation 1,000 times over. When you decide to be with somebody, especially if you're taking a step towards marriage or anything of that nature, you're basically finding somebody to where they're not perfect, but the flaws that they do have, you guys are willing to work through and accept. And it's worth it at this point. If it's a situation to where you feel like you're not getting what you're receiving and it's not worth it, then that's something totally different. But again, nobody's ever going to be perfect. Somebody said it's something you can't even put into words. It's what you show. I strongly agree with that, because love is definitely a feeling for me. You can't just say you love somebody without showing them. And you're going to hear me say that a lot this episode, because again, that's how I love. That's how I operate. That's how I work. And I totally agree with that. It is something that you can't put into words. Sometimes you're so consumed with love that you can't even describe it. So those were everybody's definitions along with Google. So the next question I asked, do you feel like people can be in love with more than one person? 76% of my followers say yes. I do feel like people can be in love with multiple people. I don't think at the same time, but do I feel like people can be more in love than one person? Yes. I feel like you love people differently based off of where you are at that moment or what they're giving you at the time. And again, love isn't always about a significant other. I can love my friend and I can love my significant other. I can strongly love my sister and love my significant other. It's all based off of how you decide to distribute your love out, who you decide to give it to, and the reasons why you decide to love them. 24% said, no, I don't feel like you can be in love with more than one person. Love is strictly, solely reserved for that one special someone. That's it. That's all. There's no possible way that you can love me and love her, or love him and love him. Totally understand. I've been there before. Another question that I wanted to ask, because I've been seeing this a lot lately, whether it's social media, celebrities, this is kind of like the new fad for people, I guess. Would you participate in a polygamous relationship? So for those of you who may not necessarily know what polygamy is, that is basically agreeing to be in a situation to where it's not just you and one other person. It could be you and another person, or it can be you and a person and two other people. However many people. I know in different countries it is big to where men are allowed to marry more than one wife and have 6 or 7 families. Me personally, I just can't get with that. 37% said, yeah, I can definitely be in a polygamous relationship. I can date a guy and he can have another girl, or a guy, I can date a girl, she can have another guy, whatever. I've been seeing it a lot lately, but another thing that I've also been seeing coming along with that is drama. Somebody always feels as if maybe one person is getting more attention, one person is being treated a little bit different. And you can kind of tell too with guys. Like, I know a couple of guys that are in relationships with multiple women. One woman stays in the household with him. That's the household that his kids are in. The other woman either doesn't have children, or he doesn't primarily stay with her, or maybe she's in a different state. I've seen all types of things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I am personally a part of the 63% of my followers that said no. I can't share you with anybody. I don't even like sharing my significant other with their own family and friends. So I for sure wouldn't be able to share that person with another woman. So I'm going to say no to that. But again, we are not here to judge. If that's something that works for you and you were in a situation to where that was healthy, everybody got along, it worked, you guys are in love, still currently holding on strong, kudos to you. So another question that I wanted to ask, what's your biggest fear when it comes to love? Somebody said being made a fool of. I can definitely agree with that. I've been there before. You don't want to feel stupid. You don't want to feel as if you're putting yourself out there to be left hanging. You don't want to feel as if you're giving your all to get nothing in return. Again, like the movie, Why Do Fools Fall in Love, which I love that movie about Frankie Lyman. If you haven't watched it, it has Halle Berry, Layla Rashawn, Vivica A. Fox, Lawrence Tate. It's an older movie, but it's really good. And it basically shows a man who kind of intertwined himself in a polygamous relationship because he was dating 3 women who all technically said they were still married to him when he passed. But that's a good movie. But yeah, being made of a fool is definitely scary. Somebody said heartbreak. That is true, because the definition of a heartbreak, you literally feel it like in your soul. Like you feel like something is being snatched outside of you. I know when I first had my first heartbreak, it was to the point to where I wasn't eating. I didn't want to sleep. I didn't want to socialize. Didn't want to get out of bed. I was just distraught. Somebody said rejection. That is true too, because there has been people in situations to where maybe you feel some type of way about somebody and they may not feel the same way back. And normally we are humans. We have feelings that's going to hurt. Somebody said love doesn't come with fear. That's pretty interesting. I guess I can kind of see where that person is coming from with that, because if you do love somebody, if you truly love them, you wouldn't be afraid, I guess, of fear or rejection, because your feelings are your feelings and it really doesn't matter how the other person feels, because you know you were genuine in how you acted on the situation. Somebody said what they showed you out the gate was really not them. That is really big. My fiance says all the time that a lot of people wear masks and they kind of disguise who they are when you first meet them and you're in the whole dating stages. They tell you that they want this, they want that, or this is how they operate. And then months down the line, years down the line, sometimes even weeks or days, they show you other sides to where it's like, hey, wait a minute, this was nothing that what you originally showed me. So I can definitely agree with that. Somebody said honesty. I do feel like that's really big. A lot of people are not honest. Or they don't tell whole truths, I guess you can say, or they disclose certain information or don't disclose certain things with you. So honesty, I can definitely see how that would be a fear. Somebody said not having it reciprocated in my love language. That is really big. You can do polls online, and I think they also have a book to where you can kind of see where you and your partner can answer questions and decide what their love language is. If you are currently in a relationship, marriage, engagement, situationship, whatever, the best thing that you can do for you and your partner is figure out what their love language is. You may be dating somebody to where their love language is receiving gifts, as far as that's how they feel as if they're being shown that they're being loved. Your love language may just simply be, hey, just tell me you love me. I'm okay with that. Always make sure that you are considering what your partner is considering for their love language, so that way you're able to give them what they need. Somebody said, "Now I haven't reciprocated again." Somebody said, when the other person does not love you as much as you love them. So in the episode, I did mention this, and I have said this also. I kind of feel like somebody always has to love somebody a little bit more than the other person when you're in a relationship. Because I just feel like it balances itself out. Somebody has to be a little bit more obsessed. So I get it, but then I don't get it. Somebody also said losing myself. That is a big one. Sometimes when you get in relationships or you are loving somebody, you get consumed in what they like or what works best for them, that you may kind of waver a little bit or stray away from what you would normally do or enjoy to kind of please them. Don't ever lose yourself in love. It's not worth it. So another question that I wanted to ask, have you ever felt like you lost yourself in love? So that kind of ties into what the last person said. 87% said, yes, I do feel like I was in a relationship to where I kind of lost myself. I wasn't myself. Things that I may necessarily do normally when I'm by myself, I did not do with that person. I changed. I didn't know who I was. It just didn't work. 13% said, no, I'm myself whether I'm with or without somebody. One thing that I will say, when you are in love or you get into a relationship, dynamics do change. Of course, you don't want to do anything to offend your partner. You don't want to do anything that's disrespectful. You don't want to do anything to where you're just taking it too far. But losing yourself, to me, I feel as if you normally work out, you faithfully work out 4 times a week. You get in a relationship and your partner is more so of a homebody. So instead of you continuing to keep your same routine as far as working out 4 days a week, you decide, hey, I'm just not going to work out at all. I'm going to work out 1 day a week because I want to spend more time with my partner. It's always best to still have your own identity. Continue to have your own group of friends. Continue to kick it with your family. Continue to go out if that's something that you like to do. Continue to just still have your own identity, because you have to make yourself happy first before you can make anybody else happy. So definitely don't lose yourself. Another question that I wanted to ask, do you believe that you have to go through hell in order to find love? I feel like this is very important because you see memes all the time, and then you also see like celebrities or even in your day-to-day life to where women and men are with partners to where they are constantly caught cheating or they're abusive, whether it's verbally or physically. And it's just like always a problem, but they continue to stay with that person. And people always say, oh, well, you got to go through hell to get to heaven. I personally am with the 85% of my followers that said, no, I don't want to be in a relationship to where it's toxic, to where we're fighting, we're arguing all the time, whether it's physical, verbal, mentally. That is draining and that is stressful. Love is love. You know, I understand that everything is not going to always be peaches and cream. It's not going to always be sunny skies and rainbows. But when it comes to a point to where 75% of the time you guys are fighting and arguing, you might want to reconsider what type of situation you're in. Take a step back if you need to get counseling, if you guys need to have a heart-to-heart, whatever. I personally do not feel like you have to go through hell to get to love. Just doesn't make sense to me. 15% say yes. Sometimes you do have to stick stuff out with people. You do have to go through things. Stuff may not work out. There will be arguments, but love wins in the end. More power to you, but I can't do it. Another question that I wanted to ask, how do you show your partner you love them? My sister again was playing in my inbox and said, by breaking glass plates over their head. Yeah. Caitlin, you need help. Love you to death. Somebody said their love language, touch. So again, that ties back into making sure that you know what your partner likes, how they like to be loved. I agree with touch. I'm definitely a touchy-feely person. I want to be all up in your face. I lick my partner's face, kissing, tugging, all that. Real touchy-feely. Somebody said their love language is best, but also show them yours. Yes, that is important to show them your love language, because maybe you can kind of intertwine that with them. Like, hey, I know you like to be loved like this, but this is how I like to be loved. Let me show you. And they may warm up to that, and they may start to like that too. Somebody said words, action, and affection. I definitely feel like it is important to tell your partner, hey, you look nice today, or I miss you. I like your smile. Little sweet nothings, even with men too. A lot of people feel as if only women want to hear those type of things. Men like it too. Put a little Kool-Aid smile on their face. Somebody said, just say it every day. I can see that, but I feel like it's a little bit more than that. But if that works for your partner, again, if that's their love language to where they just want to hear it, then cool. Depends on their life language. People like to, well, I think that person meant to say love language. People like to be loved differently. Exactly. So through my words and actions, somebody said cater to them. Just little simple things as rubbing their feet or back without them asking. I feel like that is really key in a relationship, especially if you have a partner that works long hours or they have a job that's really straining them as far as their body or something physical. That is a nice touch. When your partner comes home, have like a massage table set up and some oils, get some candles going to kind of release some tense or some stress on them and just let them know, hey, I appreciate you. I love you. I just want to give you some you time and make right now all about you. Another question that I wanted to ask, what's the craziest thing you've done for love? Somebody said accepted both physical and mental abuse. Physical abuse, and I will always say this, is never okay. I have been in a situation before to where somebody was physically abusive towards me. And I do feel like that is a crazy thing to accept because nobody should ever get that mad to where they can't control themselves and they put their hands on you. It's not okay. Situations like that can always go left. It could be that one time to where they push you a little bit too hard, hit you a little bit too hard, tug you a little bit too hard, and then there could be a point of no turning back. Mental health is also very important. Physical abuse is not the only form of abuse. Mental abuse, I feel like, is worse because that's literally twisting and turning your mind to something and making you believe something, being manipulative or things of that nature that will literally probably scar you from relationship to relationship to relationship. Somebody said they fainted. I should have wrote that person and asked them what they meant. I'll get back to you guys on the next episode. Somebody said send him to prison. I don't think that's crazy because if that person deserves to go to prison, sayonara, arrivederci, see you later. Your ass is grass. Stay with a girl after I think he put like the little asterisk mark. So I think dick pics in her phone. Yeah, that is crazy because if she had those type of pictures on her phone, she was probably doing some channel business on. Somebody said they did participate in a polygamy relationship, and I'm assuming that person wasn't okay with it, but because they love that other person so much, they sacrificed what they really wanted to do, that they agreed to it. Somebody said as an adult, stay when I should have left. I feel like that is very important, with love and relationships, knowing when to leave. A lot of people, I think, sometimes hold on to stuff because of either how their relationship used to be, hoping that it can get back to that stage, or just not wanting to learn somebody new all over again, or pretty much just taking a blind eye to what's in front of them. I've fallen victim of that many a times, trying to basically put makeup on scars or trying to turn a pig into a date. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. If somebody cheated on you once, there's a possibility that they may unfortunately cheat on you again. Some people do just have that one slip up to where, okay, that was enough. It was a mistake. I apologize. I won't ever do it again. But I'm a firm believer in certain things turn into choices. Mistakes and choices are totally different. You do something once, you apologize about it, you say you're going to correct it. If you do it again, at this point, it's a choice. And if it keeps happening, that's just what you want to do at this point. So I do feel like it's important to kind of analyze the situation and take a step back and say, hey, I need to exit stage left. We're not into it. I wish you the best. Hopefully you wish me the same, but this isn't working anymore. Somebody said in high school, I woke up early for the bus and rode past the guy's stop, all to tell him I liked him. I'm screaming. So you got up early to make sure to tell your man you liked him. Okay, girl. Another question that I asked, do you feel like you've experienced true love? I feel like that's really big because I have had conversations with friends to where they feel like, I don't think I'm ever going to be in love. I don't think I'm ever going to get married. I've never experienced love. The love that I had wasn't real. And it's a little disheartening because it's like, I do really believe that there is somebody out there for everybody. It may take others a little bit longer. It may come in different forms. Again, it may be a friendship of a love that you needed. It may be an unconditional love from a family member. But I feel like everybody should be able to experience true love. 59% said yes. I do feel like I've experienced true love to where that person would have did anything and everything for me. That person loved me through and through, thick and thin. It was real. 41%, which is kind of a high number, said no, I don't feel like I've ever experienced true love. That's not something that I have been able to experience or be a part of. For those who said no, a lot of my followers around my age, I just turned 29. Your time is coming. I know people that have found love that's 60, 50, 40, whatever. If you were lucky enough to find your high school sweetheart, stay with them. Kudos to you. But don't give up. Sometimes you have to go through things. Sometimes you have to get a little bit older. Sometimes the person that is meant for you just isn't there yet. They may not be in your state. You may have to move. You may have to do different experiences. I know a lot of people who have fallen in love with their friends. You've been friends for years, and the person that is going to be your true love, you don't know it yet because you guys just aren't there. So just give yourself some time. I did want to ask, how many times have you felt like you've been in love? Somebody said 42. My fiance's brother said that. That's hilarious. All right, 42. Somebody said like 3. Somebody said 1 time. Another person said 1. Somebody said twice, 1, 1, 1. Somebody said 3. Somebody said twice. Somebody said 2 times. Somebody said 2 times. Somebody said twice. So the big numbers, as you can see, are either once or twice. A lot of people that said twice on my timeline are in committed relationships. One person is engaged. The other person is actually, a baby is on the way. Congratulations. Another person, she has been with her second significant other for a very long time. Another person that said once, she is engaged to get married. Congratulations to her. So I'm assuming that is her true love. Another person said twice. My best friend, I feel like the relationship that she's currently in, this is when she's going to get married. So I definitely agree with that. Me personally, I would probably say 3 times. I do consider my high school sweetheart love because we really did love each other. My previous relationship, even though it may not have been the best, I do consider that love. And then my current relationship. So yeah, I'll say 3 times. I asked, not somebody. Sorry, speaking in third person. Have you ever lost someone you love because of your actions? 66% said yes, 34% said no. I wouldn't necessarily say I've lost somebody. Has it changed the dynamic of our relationship? Yes. When you're with somebody else, you always have to consider their feelings. You always have to consider what kind of ticks them off, what they may not necessarily like, what they do or don't like. It's not just you anymore. And I feel like sometimes when people get in relationships, they forget that there's another person that's involved. And sometimes people make certain moves or say certain things or do certain things, and they forget like, hey, there's somebody else that you have to consider. Yes, normally if you were single, you would move this way, or this is what you feel is the best, but what did your partner think? I don't think I've ever lost somebody. Have I ever turned somebody off? Yes. Have I ever probably put a monkey wrench in my relationship before? Yes. Have I ever done something I probably shouldn't have did? Yes. So I'm kind of 50-50 with that. 34% said no, I wasn't the cause to my relationship ending. It was the other person. I'm assuming they're pointing the fingers out here. Another question that I asked, do you feel like there's a such thing as falling in love too quickly? 48% said yes. Sometimes, people just jump right in and they feel like that's too quick. There's no possible way that you can fall in love in a couple of days, a couple of weeks, or a month. That's just not realistic. And then 52% said no. I am a part of the 52%. I don't really feel like there's a such thing as falling in love too quickly, because if you find somebody who literally makes you happy inside and out, you guys are pretty much on the same page in life. You have some of the same values, views, and goals, and you guys just make each other happy. What's the issue with being in love? You can be with somebody for 3 years and think that you're in love, and come to find out it was all a facade. I know people who have literally met somebody within a month, got engaged, got married, and are still happily together. For example, my friend that just got married, that I told you guys I was kind of focused on that. She met her significant other within 6 months, got engaged, got married. And when I say though, that's one of the most happiest couples that I've seen in a while. Like literally make each other smile from ear to ear. I don't hear about them arguing. Even when I'm around them, they don't argue. Now, of course, everybody has stuff that goes on in their personal life, But 9 times out of 10, they are literally smiling hand in hand. They love spending time with each other and they make each other happy. So no, I don't think there's a such thing as falling in love too quickly. When you find that somebody, lock them down. Because the dating scene out here is horrible. There's not a lot out here. Another question that I wanted to ask, do you feel like love is a choice? 48% said yes, 52% said no. I am definitely with the 48%. Love is definitely a choice. The reason why I say that is because with love, again, there comes trials and tribulations. It's not going to always be peachy keen. We love each other. We're happy. Sometimes you guys are going to go through stuff. If you always choose to love, if you always choose to have an open heart, if you always choose to be with that person, that is a choice. You're choosing this relationship. You're choosing this situation. You're choosing this person. You're choosing to be happy. It's definitely a choice because people can also choose to, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Love isn't for me, or I just don't feel like being in love right now. I need to take a break. So I'm sorry. I am definitely a part of the 48% that feels like love is a choice. It's definitely a choice. The 52% that said no, I guess I don't understand how you don't feel like love is a choice because, well, I mean, if you fall in love with somebody, you can't help it. I guess I can get from that aspect. But I feel like going deeper into it, looking at it, not just scratching the surface, it's definitely a choice. One thing I wanted to ask, because this is possible and it does happen. Have you ever fallen out of love with somebody? 95% said yes. Of course, 95%. So that lets you know most of my timeline said yes. 5% said no. I definitely have fallen out of love with somebody before. And it was my younger relationship. Because, of course, people change. I was in high school when we first met. Things were a little bit more carefree, ongoing, to where it was more light. And it was like, okay, cool. We in high school. We love each other. We're kicking it. Da, 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 da. Once I turned 18 and I realized, okay, I want to make money. I want to have a car. I want to have my own apartment. I want to have this, that, and the third. Certain stuff just didn't excite me anymore. And I kind of felt that that person was still staying in that mindset. And it was just like, ugh, like, I don't even really like you like that no more. Like, I have love for you, but I'm definitely not in love with you. We are on two totally different pages. I do feel like it is extremely possible to fall out of love with somebody. Again, things change, and then people show you sides of them to where you may not even just be attracted to that anymore. For example, I watched The Real Housewives of Potomac. Love that show. Robin and Juan are one of the couples that are on there. They were engaged before, married, got divorced, separated, co-parented, and now they're engaged again. She's kind of in a stage right now to where she's going through the pandemic because they, of course, record the season before they air it. She didn't really feel like getting out of bed. And he was telling her, like, dude, you sleep till like 10 to 12 o'clock. We got kids. What you doing to this and the third? And he flat out told her, like, that's unattractive. I'm falling out of love with you. That's why I say I feel like that's possible, because if you have somebody who's motivated, spunky, outgoing, and then they look at you and they see you just like slumping around, that will definitely make somebody fall all the way out of love with you. And you can't do anything but respect it, because it's like people want what they want and they have the choice and the decision on whether or not what you're doing is going to be best for them. So to lighten up the mood a little bit, I wanted to ask, name a song that you feel describes you when you are in love. Somebody said, throw your hood up, Little John and the East Side Boys. My sister said, whoop that trick. Again, it looks like the family decided to play on the questions, which is funny. Somebody said, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. It's Mahalia, Mahalia, I'm assuming. Grateful. Never heard that song before. Definitely need to listen to it. Somebody said Jaded. Never heard that song, but they put a laughing emoji, so I'm definitely going to Google it. B, why would you put Set It Off, Boosie? Just why? Somebody said Temptations, My Girl. I like that song. Hey. Somebody said Mink Slide, Got That Feeling. Somebody said Tink, Treat Me Like Somebody. I love that song. I just want somebody, hey, treat me like somebody. And somebody said my song, Monica, Love All Over Me. That song like speaks volumes to me. There's a lot of songs that I think though that come to mind. Lettucey has a couple songs. Anything for You. Woo! This video went viral. I actually might play that at my wedding. Some girl was coming down to the aisle to it and somebody was singing live and like literally the whole audience was in tears. If you're looking for wedding songs, if you're engaged, you have a wedding coming up, hit my girl Lettucey up. She got them hits for you. Somebody said Love Music Soul Child, which is funny because that's actually going to be the interlude to the podcast. I love that song. I feel like that song never gets old. So those are a couple of the love songs that make you feel when you're in love. So the one and last question that I wanted to ask, have you ever feared that you won't find or experience true love? And of course, I did get into that a little bit earlier this episode, and 62%, like I said yes. I do feel like I won't be able to experience true love. And like I said before, give yourself time. A lot of my timeline and my followers were around the same age. Some people are younger, some may be a year or two older than me. Love can come at any time. Don't rush it. Don't feel as if because other people around you are in love or in relationships or married or engaged and you're single that means there's no hope for you. Again, I am a strong and firm believer and there is somebody out there for everybody. And again, maybe you should look for love in other places. It does not always necessarily mean it has to be with a significant other. You can find love through family. You can find love through friends. You can find love through church. Love can come in all types of forms. So just give yourself time and continue to do what you need to do. Love yourself first because you are going to be able to love yourself better than anybody can. And 38% said no. I never feared that. I feel like I will be able to experience love. When it comes, it's going to come and it's going to be great. So that is all that I have for this episode of What's Up, Bree. Episode number 8. Again, I messed up when I said episode 9. I think I was just too excited skipping soon. So we're going back to go forward again. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. My @ is What's Up Bree, WHATSSS_UPBRI. You can follow me on Anchor. It's What's Up Bree. And please make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's all the same @ What's Up Bree. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Can't wait to see you again so we can talk, kiki, chat on What's Up Bree. Hey, what's up, Bree? And we out.